Before you start the fire, it's important to check the chimney inside and out to make sure that that nothing is touching the stove on the inside and nothing is touching the chimney on the outside or inside. Also, keep a bucket of water or a fire extinguisher nearby just in case. Very important rule with the stove. This is a diagram of our stove. It's important that the fire is always here near the inside stove door. So our stove has two stove doors, one on the outside and one on the inside. Also notice two dampers. You always want to build the fire here in the inside of the sauna. Never light a fire here. This is actually an access channel that can be used to load wood after the fire has been established. The chimney is up here. Also, only burn the provided firewood, never plastics, treated wood, garbage, and please do not use accelerants, fire accelerants of any kind like lighter fluid. Here's the damper. Again, there's a damper on the inside of the stove and the outside of the stove. If the damper is further shut, you will have less air, as in partially closed dampers, and you'll have a cooler, steadier burn. If the dampers are more open, you'll have a hotter burn. If you have totally closed dampers, your fire will not burn because it doesn't have oxygen. Here's a simple guide to starting a fire. Start with 2 logs going this way. Add paper. Add plenty of dry kindling. Light the fire and stay nearby. It's important that you never leave the sauna with the stove door open. In this part, you're going to want to just sit near the stove and watch the fire establish. Once you see these bottom logs catching, you can add another log or 2. And then once you see embers on the bottom, you can close the stove door and make sure the lock catches by closing the handle like this, and then leave the dampers open. Again, you can't shut the dampers with the fire going because it will starve the fire of oxygen. Okay, so if you look at the stovepipe, it has this temperature safety gauge. Always keep an eye on this and make sure the needle is in the green zone. If you see the pipe glowing red or the needle in the red zone, it means that it's gotten too hot. So you're going to want to start closing the dampers to reduce airflow and cool down that sauna. And remember to always use a heat glove when you're touching the stove or the dampers because the metal surfaces do become very hot and can cause burns.